Hey everybody, welcome back to Breaktime. I am your host, David Liddell, and this is show number 3, and today we're going to talk a lot about football, because I have been neglecting a little bit of football from my previous 2 shows. So let's talk about football today. So football season proposed to start on September 10th, start our regular season, preseason. Before that, nobody cares about that, whether that happens or not. But on September 10th, which is a Thursday, we're going to start off the regular season with the Chiefs and the Texans. So let's talk about the Texans real quick. So no DeAndre Hopkins. Everybody knows that. And instead, they opt for a 4th-round pick in a trade for David Johnson from the Cardinals. So they trade DeAndre Hopkins and a 4th-round pick for David Johnson to the Cardinals, which, okay, we're not going to get into that. But, moving on. Well, the Chiefs, by the way, if you didn't remember, the winners of the Super Bowl had a 1st-round pick, whom was Clyde Edward-Helaire. And he's a running back and just another weapon for Patrick Mahomes to use. So that's great for them. Hopefully it works out. Not a great running back draft, I would say. Not, a huge amount of talent. It was more of a wide receiver heavy draft, at least as far as talent is concerned. So, hopefully their running back works out. Just another guy that hopefully Patrick Mahomes can trust to send that ball downfield. And then, so as far as the Texans draft, I believe they had a 4th and a 7th round pick. They had the 40th and the 97th overall pick, I believe it was, and they picked up 2 defensive players. So the subsequent games for week 1, so that was on Thursday, September 10th, starting on Sunday, September 13th, we have the Seahawks and the Falcons, blah. The Browns and the Ravens, blah. The Jets and the Bills, the Panthers and the Raiders. So I heard earlier that the Panthers are the 32nd team, at least ranked in the NFL right now. And then we got the new Las Vegas Raiders at 22nd, which I feel that seems like a very generous spot for the Raiders, but that's just me. That's just my take on it. And then we have, let's see. Then we have the Bears and the Lions. I hate both of those teams. Colts and the Jaguars. Go Gardner Minshew. I hope that the Jaguars can go places this year. The Packers and the Vikings. That'll be a good one. I'm really, I'm a big Packers fan, and I hate the Vikings, so I hope we kick the shit out of them. Dolphins and the Patriots. We have Eagles and Redskins, Chargers and Bengals, so we get to see Joe Burrow for the first time, the 1st-round draft pick, come out and kick some ass. Would be pretty cool. Buccaneers and Saints, which will be an interesting one. Got to see Tom Brady come out for the first time in Buccaneer uniform. We have the Cardinals and the Niners, which, you have DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray on the same side of the ball. That's going to be an interesting matchup. I'm excited to see if they have any kind of chemistry the way that, like, Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins had. And then we have Cowboys at Rams for our last game on Sunday. And that will... Oh, and then we have, so Monday, Steelers and Giants, and then Titans and Broncos. and that would be the end of week 1. So I mentioned a little bit about power rankings, which, I mean, really don't mean anything, but I want to talk about them real quick. We got the Kansas City Chiefs at number 1. I have no problem with that. Baltimore Ravens at 2. That's another good one. San Francisco 49ers at 3. We have the New Orleans Saints at 4. And I don't particularly have a problem with this seat, but I believe that the Seahawks, in my opinion, would definitely go number 4. And then it would be Saints at 5. Green Bay Packers at 6. I have no problem with that. Go Pack Go. Made it to the, finals and got beat up by the Niners last year. Then we have number 7, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which, I mean, we'll see. Let's hope that everyone's prayers are answered by Tom Brady, at least on the Bucs. See if a season can be redeemed from the 30 for 30 we had last year with Jameis Winston, his 30 touchdowns and 30 picks. At 8, we have the Tennessee Titans, which, close to the end of last season, they were a playoff team. So, I don't have a big problem with that. Minnesota Vikings, I mean, you get what you get, I suppose. Like, it's kind of hard to put the Vikings up that high, even though they did make it to the playoffs, and then, the Packers beat them. But, Adam Thielen, he's unreliable at best, I'd say. Dallas Cowboys at 10. Not a huge fan of this one. They, going into the playoffs last year, they were 6-6. So that was a bit weird for me. I think they'd be more around the 14 range. 11, we have Buffalo Bills. See, I believe that, if the Cowboys and the Bills switch spots, so we had, the Bills at 10 and then, the Cowboys at 11, I would have liked it a little bit more because Josh Allen had an amazing year last year. And, he just seems to be getting better ever since he was a rookie. So I hope that, they put some decent weapons around him so that he can shine. We have number 12, which is the Philadelphia Eagles. Colts at 13. We have the Steelers at 14. That's a tough one for me. I feel like the Steelers just, given no Ben Roethlisberger and the unreliability of Mason Rudolph, I would have put them a little bit lower. We have 15 is the New England Patriots. Now, yeah, Jarrett Stidham, he's brand new, and it's going to be hard to fill the shoes of Tom Brady, for sure, but it's a Bill Belichick team. It wasn't a Tom Brady team. It wasn't, a Julius Edelman team. It was a Bill Belichick team. So, he's amazing. I don't care what you say about Bill Belichick. He's an amazing coach, always has been, and I hope that he turns Jarrett Stidham into, somebody good. And we have the Tech at 16, which I wouldn't, in my opinion, put the Texans that high because they're going to go into the season without DeAndre Hopkins and most likely walk into a loss like we previously talked about. We have the Rams at 17. Okay, I suppose. Atlanta Falcons 18. Arizona Cardinals at 19. Now, see, it's really easy to put this team down that low, but you forget, everybody forgets, you remind yourself they now have DeAndre Hopkins. It would be like if Christian McCaffrey went to the Browns. It would actually make a difference. So I believe that that's going to be something big that everyone needs to pay attention to. Remember that the Cardinals now have DeAndre Hopkins. I'm going to say it one more time. We have the Cleveland Browns at 20, which, we'll see, I guess. Baker Mayfield definitely needs to work his stuff out. He, 21 interceptions last year, I believe it was. He was second for interceptions. And, I hope he figures his shit out because everyone going into the 2018 season, thought that he was going to be somebody, and he kind of shit the bed in a way in 2019. So I hope he comes back and does some more great things. Chicago Bears, at 21, they should definitely be 32nd in my book because, the Bears. We already spoke about the Vegas Raiders at 22, Denver Broncos at 23. With Jerry Jeudy, I think that, and Drew Lock, I believe that it's going to be an amazing matchup. I believe that they're going to go places this year defensively, and if they can figure their shit out on offense, they're going to be great. We have 24 at Los Angeles Chargers. Phillip Rivers, he's a question mark right now. 25 with Miami Dolphins. Now, I'm really hoping that they don't play Tua right away, because if they do, they're going to regret it. I hope they give him the year off. I hope they have him, learn up a little bit and get better before he comes back and hurts himself one more time. Really excited to see what he can do, but I'm, hoping they sit him a year so that he can get better. We have the Jets at 26. I have no problem with that. Sam Darnold, he's another question mark in my book. Carolina Panthers at 27. Actually, who did I think was at so the Jaguars were 32. Excuse me. Carolina Panthers are 27. And I'm hoping that they can climb their way up as far as power ranking is concerned with Teddy Bridgewater as their starting quarterback. We have the Lions at 28. Makes sense. I hope that the Packers beat them the way that we should beat them always, but specifically better than we did last year with our ugly winning that brought us to the ugly playoffs that we lost in. So, I hope that the Packers can get their stuff together so we can beat the teams like the Lions and not make it look difficult. So we have New York Giants at 29, Cincinnati Bengals at 30. Joe Burrow, he's going to do his best, I'm sure, and hopefully he can bring the team up a bit, kind of like how Baker Mayfield did for the Browns. We have Washington Redskins at 31, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars at 32. So that's our power rankings going into this season. And I just want to say that, again, these don't really mean anything. These are completely hypothetical, and, a bunch of people in a room decided this. It wasn't by, popular vote or anything like that. It's just a bunch of dudes that like analytics that, put these together, probably to stir up more shit than anything else. But, so yeah, week one's going to be weird. This whole season's going to be weird. But what's going to be even weirder, God forbid, is if they have to push the season back a month, which would put the first game for week 5. If Corona pushes back the football season a month, so just skip week 1 through 4. We're going to start on week 5 on October 8th, Thursday, October 8th, and it's going to be a season opener of the Buccaneers and the Bears. Now, the proposal is that, kind of like how they do school years, what they're going to do is they're going to take the weeks previous and they're just going to add them on to the end. So, October 8th, let's say they push it back a month, October 8th, Buccaneers and the Bears. That following Sunday, we have Panthers, Falcons, Bengals, Ravens, Jags, Texans, Raiders, Chiefs, Broncos, Patriots, Cardinals, Jets, Eagles, Steelers, Bills, Texans, Rams, Redskins, Dolphins, 49ers, Colts and Browns, Giants at Cowboys, Vikings at Seahawks, and our Monday game, which there's only one, would be Chargers at Saints.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Breaktime.
Kind of a weird way to start the season in October, But it's very possible that because of coronavirus, the NFL might decide to go along or to move it back a month. So that's just something that can happen. I hope not. That would be a one weird week, like first week with the Buccaneers and the Bears. I mean, that would be game changing. Seasons would be altered immeasurably if that were the truth. And I just hope it doesn't happen because I miss sports. I miss football. We do have a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel with the NBA. They're talking about bringing back basketball here pretty soon. And on June 5th, 29 of the 30 teams decided that they're going to go with a shortened season. They're not going to run straight into the playoffs like everyone thought they were going to. They're going to have 8 seeding games with 22 total teams over in Orlando. And they're essentially trying to get Zion into the playoffs. is my conclusion, is that why wouldn't they just jump right into the playoffs? But it's because they want, the Pelicans to have at least a monicum of a chance to make it into the playoffs, so we can say that, oh, Zion Williamson made it into the playoffs. I'm really excited about that. I also heard that baseball is back as well, starting sometime in July, which is awesome. I spoke a little bit last episode about the feud between players, owners, and the MLB, and how that's affecting their ability to come back to work. And it seems like a lot of the players, the unions, and the owners finally came to some sort of resolution. What that is, I don't think a lot of people know yet. It seems to be everyone's immediate reaction is that they just decided to take the pay cut anyway so that they could play this season and take an even heavier pay cut, which is unfortunate, and like I said in the last episode, was that, sure, it's really difficult to feel sorry for some of these guys because they make so much money, but if you were, promised so much money and then somebody said, well, it's a shortened season, so we're going to take that money. They're like, okay, well, I get that because it's a shortened season, we'll take less money. And then they came back again and said, oh, we're going to need more money? No, that's not cool. It's really unfortunate that it had to come to that point. And I hope that people just understand that, yeah, baseball players are, millionaires, but they're still people, and they still deserve the same respect that everybody else deserves when it comes to like making promises, keeping those promises, and then getting paid justly. So I hope that all gets resolved, at least in a diplomatic way that doesn't sway too heavily one way or another. So as far as sports are concerned, in my opinion, they're back. So I'm really excited about that. It's going to be a little bit longer, obviously, than everyone would have liked it to be. Short seasons, straight to the playoffs for basketball, and so forth. So we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. I hope that, even given all the protesting and riots and such, that people will be able to come together and enjoy sports again. That's what I really hope for. Go out, do your protesting, keep it peaceful, but then when you come home, watch some basketball, watch a football game, watch a baseball game, and enjoy it. It took a lot of work, but I'm glad that we have kind of a light at the end of the tunnel. So that'll be the end of this show. By the way, all of these sponsorships that I've been doing are completely non-paid. I just love these groups. I love the Super Sports Cards and more. I can't recommend them enough. You can find them on Facebook. They have a Facebook group. Just ask to join the group. They do all sorts of sports cards breaks, memorabilia breaks. They do live sales. And Justin, David Blackwell, and the family are amazing to work with. I wouldn't recommend them more, or I couldn't recommend them more. as well as Jim Peters over at Lucky Breaks. He's a legend in the game. You know, like everybody loves Jim. He is an amazing person. I know him personally, and he actually helped me get into sports card collecting and pretty soon breaks. He gave me a lot of good information on doing breaks on my Facebook page, Breaktime, Buy, Sell, Trade, and Breaks over on Facebook. Go check me out. You'll know it's me by the burgundy red logo saying, "Keep calm, take a break." So thanks everybody for listening. I'll be coming back with another show. I have tentative plans to talk a little bit about one of my favorite movies, Ali, which I'm going to watch again, probably 2 or 3 times, and come back with a little bit of a review, give you a little bit of history on Muhammad Ali and his life and his career, maybe some things that you didn't know before, because he's one of the greats in my book, everybody's book. So I'm going to pay him a little homage on my show and hopefully, reach out to everybody in the sports world, not just, the main 3. I want to talk a little bit about boxing. Episode after that, I have plans to talk about UFC, Dana White, Chuck Liddell, which, by the way, my last name is Liddell, and it's spelled the same as Chuck Liddell's. And I have an Ancestry.com thing going on right now, so hopefully it comes back that me and him are related, because that would be freaking awesome. So, thanks for listening again, everybody. You have a wonderful day. Take a break.